So these are assembly instructions for my octagonal box with a handle closure. I've shared a smaller version which is 4 inches wide and 3 inches tall, and this is the larger version. The assembly instructions are pretty much the same for both of them. So I have 3 panels, 2 of them are longer and 1 of them is shorter, and I'm just folding down on all the score lines for all 3 panels. So next I have the 8 decorative panels that go on the sides of my box. I'm going to decorate them now and adhere them to the sides of my box while my pieces are still flat. So I'm just putting glue on the underside of my white pieces. Now these white pieces are cut out of 80-pound cardstock, and I'm just adhering them right on top of my black panels, so edge to edge. And my black panels are cut out of black poster board only because I had some black poster board that I needed to use up. I think a better choice here would be 80-pound cardstock or black foil craft board. So now that my 8 panels are decorated, I'm going to assemble the walls of my box. I'm going to start with one of my panels. It doesn't matter if it's one of the long ones or the short one. And I'm putting glue on that side tab from the score line to the edge. And I'm gluing the cut edge of one of my other side pieces to the score line of my tab. And then I'm moving to the side tab on that piece. I'm putting glue all over it, and I'm gluing the cut edge of my third side piece right to the score line of my tab, making sure that the tops are even and the score lines are even at the bottom. And so next I'm going to glue down my pattern pieces. The first one has 2 black spots at the bottom, and the second one has 2 black spots at the top. And I've just alternated my pieces so that every second one is the same. I'm putting glue on the underside of my decorative panels, so I'm just centering them between the score line and the top and the bottom, and I'm just going to do that for all 8 of them. So now that I've decorated the outside, I'm flipping my box over so that I'm looking at the inside of it, and I'm folding over the end that has that tab, and I'm covering that tab with glue from the score line to the edge, and then I'm folding that last panel over so that the cut line of it is right against the score line of my tab. And so now I'm popping my box up, and I have all those tabs at the bottom pointing towards the center of my shape. So there's 2 ways of doing this. You can go in there and add glue to each tab, or you could flip your piece over so that you're looking at the bottom and then put glue them from the bottom like so. So you just want to put glue on all 8 of those tabs. All right, so I have my box back in position with all of those tabs facing towards the center. I have 3 octagon pieces. One of them is slightly smaller than the other 2. I'm just putting glue all over the underside of it. I'm just gluing it to the center of one of the larger octagons, like so. So next I'm going to take that decorated octagon and I'm going to drop it inside my box. The flat edges of my octagon are right along the flat edges of my walls. So I'm just going in with my bone folder and I'm just spreading that glue. And then I'm going to flip my box over, and I'm taking that second octagon. I'm putting glue on the underside of it and gluing it onto the bottom of my box. I want all 8 sides to be nice and even. And then I'm going with my bone folder, and from the inside I'm spreading that glue. So next I have the pieces that are the closure of my box, and I have 1 score line just along that large tab, and I'm just folding and burnishing on that score line, and I have 2 of those. And then I have my handle pieces. I'm folding down on the score line that's at the bottom, so that's the tab that's at the bottom of my piece. And then I have 2 score lines right below the handle, and I'm just folding them towards me. So this is a mountain fold and this is a valley fold, and I'm doing that for both of them. I have some decorative layers that I want to add to my handle pieces, so I'm just going to do as I've done for the side. I'm putting glue on the underside of the white pieces and gluing them to their black base. So next I'm putting glue on the underside of my decorated pieces, and for each one I'm just centering it as best I can in the center of the half of the octagon. So I have my box and my 2 handle pieces. So I'm putting glue all over the tab that's at the bottom of my handle piece. I'm adhering that tab just at the top of one of my panels between those vertical score lines. And I want the score line of my tab to be right at the top of the panel, like so. And then I'm going in with my bone folder and just spreading that glue. So I've glued my handle piece on this panel. I'm gluing the second handle piece on the panel that's directly across from it. So I'm just again putting glue on that tab and just gluing it to the top of the panel between the score lines with the score line of my tab exactly at the top of this panel. So now I have the two pieces that will serve as my closures. So there's a tab at one end. I'm just putting glue from the score line to the edge. I've got my handle pieces at the top and at the bottom. So I'm skipping a panel and just gluing this to the side panel on my right. I want the score line of the tab to be right at the top of my side panel. And I'm going to do that with the second piece as well. I have my one closure piece on my right. I'm putting the other one on my left directly across from it. And again, I'm making sure that my piece is between the score lines and the score line of my tab is right at the top. To close the box, you just bring the handle pieces together with those handle pieces folded up against one another, and then just fold those closing pieces over and thread the handle through the slit that's in the center like so.